Imagine waking up one day to a note that reads, "I decided that it was time for me to leave and I took all of the money in our account. And the house is no longer ours. You have 7 days to pack." Harsh, right? Now imagine reading that, knowing that you're jobless because your spouse made so much money. You have no family that would take you in. And you were caught up in a drug charge because your friend decided to bring marijuana in the car with you. What job wants you then? So now you find yourself homeless. Are you imagining it? Can you picture it? Things like this happens all the time. Maybe not the same exact scenario, but things like that happen to where people become homeless for reasons that are not even their fault. It's not necessarily bad choices, it's just unfortunate events.
Yay!
Why not help them? Why don't we do something to change that? So often we pass by vacant buildings and houses that are just sitting there. We could be getting people off of the street. Kids, soon to be mothers, anyone. My goal is to be able to come together to raise money, to start a fund for teachers to work full-time at these homeless shelters. So the ones who couldn't go to school and wanted to get a chance to get a diploma or a degree, they can for free. This is something that could potentially get these people off of the streets. So let me start by telling you why this is so important to me. March 12, 2014 is the day that my perspective on life changed. That morning, my team and I volunteered at a homeless shelter. We were feeding the homeless, we were playing games with them so that they could win prizes such as shampoo, conditioner, soap, things like that, towels, shirts, anything, shoes. Everyone was going through the line for food, but this one woman stopped and she looked at me in my face and she started crying and proceeded to give me a hug. She said, "God bless you for taking your time out of your day to come feed us." She then proceeded to tell us why she was where she was at. You see, that same day, or that day before that we had came to the homeless shelter, Miss Mary's husband died from cancer. But that's not the reason why. She told us that they sold their cars, they sold their house, they sold everything to try to pay for the payments, or for the treatments for her husband's chemo. They soon ran out of money. They had nowhere to live. They had no family alive. So they ended up on the streets, which is where he died, the day before we got there. You ask why this is so important to me? This is why. People like that end up on the streets, not because of bad choices, but because of unfortunate events. According to the second paragraph on the Poverty and the Homeless article, it says that many of today's homeless families are headed by a young unmarried mother with 2 or 3 children. She grew up in poverty, may have experienced domestic violences, and never completed high school, often dropping out because she's pregnant. She has at least one child suffering from a chronic health problem and has trouble enrolling her kids in school. It also says today in America, over 600,000 families have more than 1 million children that are homeless, living in shelters, on the streets, in a car, and on campgrounds. We need to come together as a community to help these people get off the streets. Just think, every cent that you put into this organization could be changing the lives of a family. You could literally save these people's lives by raising money for teachers to get these people diplomas or degrees. Why would you say no? The positives. Funding this organization means that you are changing the lives of people who maybe never got a chance to learn. Young mothers who had to drop out due to pregnancy, domestic violence, abandoned children, people like Mrs. Mary. You're giving these people a chance at life again. Something as simple as taking out $20 from every paycheck. Imagine if people around the world are doing this. Like I stated before, funding the organization means providing a better life for people, for children who never got the opportunity to go to school. Regardless of the reason, everyone deserves a second chance. Teaching them means that keeping them inside rather than being outside on the streets. It means teaching them hard work and dedication. Now let's take a second to visualize this. Imagine the feeling that child gets when she hears that her mom gets the opportunity to earn a degree, to get a job, to get them off the streets, to be in their own home. She's providing food for them. They don't ever have to fend for themselves. Not adopting to this position will result in no change. There will be no decrease in the amount of deaths due to starvation, murders from other homeless people. These homeless people will remain homeless, and they will eventually lose hope, resulting in them giving up in life. With all that being said, let's recap. As a whole, we could potentially get all these people off of the streets. We could be the reason why these people sign on their own homes, working at big-time jobs, making big-time money. We could be the reason these people choose life instead of death, so why not? Start now. Put money aside from your checks to put towards this organization. Donating money is giving these people something to look forward to. Giving them an opportunity to learn and to receive a degree is giving them the hope that they needed years ago. Giving them a purpose to keep pushing. So join me in helping these people get off the street and into a job. Thank you.